everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in today. I'm Julia Poulsen. I'm the manager of talent development at ICI. And today I have an honor to meet with Ron Lenz. He's a partner and also in charge of the construction services group at Katz, Sapper Miller. Thanks so much for joining me today, Ron.
Glad to do it. Thank you.
So how long have you been at Katz, Sapper Miller?
I started at Katz Sapper Miller in January of 1985, right in the heart of the quote unquote tax season, audit season, busy season. A long time.
Well, that's good that you've been there that long. That's really telling about a company when I hear folks that have been there for a really, really long time. So I feel like everyone's heard the name Katz Sapper Miller. I know some people refer to you guys as KSM for short. But if you just want to share with everyone exactly what Katz Sapper Miller does, what they specialize in, tell us all things around Katz Sapper Miller.
Well, you got the name pronounced right. It's Katz with a C or Katz Zapper, like one of those bug zappers. So Katz Sapper Miller, we are probably past our 75th anniversary, maybe in the year 77 or 78. And we were formed in 1942, 44. My math isn't great on that, by Irwin Katz and Company. And we were formed, it was kind of like after World War II. The things were happening. Mr. Katz, I think, got maybe released from the war at Fort Bend, quickly established a strong ties to the business community in Indianapolis. He actually had worked at like a motor parts distribution business, but he was continually asked for tax advice by his cronies and his friends and acquaintances. So he started his own CPA firm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was, and we've slowly moved up Meridian in our time frame. Our first offices were at 22nd in Meridian, which was a different spot back in the 40s than it is today. And then I think from there we moved to 106th in Meridian, and that's where we were when we started. And then we were at 116th in Meridian, and now we're at 96th in Meridian. We've really been in the corridor of the downtown hub in our existence, and I think that was primarily we are a full service firm, and a lot of our clients, their businesses flow through to their tax returns, their 1040. So we serve individuals who own businesses, and I think our strategy or our theory was, or where our folks lived, we always were kind of in the suburbs and the outskirts, and that's where we're at today. We've often wrestled with having another office downtown. You go downtown to eat in the old pre-pandemic days and run into folks in that. So that's kind of the history of our physical locations. Today, we don't really do any publicly traded companies, no IPOs, nothing traded on the exchange. We do audits and broker dealers, but in the CPA world, the traditional compliance type work is our audits of financial statements, reviews, compilations, and then a lot of tax compliance work. And from there, there's an outgrowth of things that folks need for tax purposes. And like one example of some more creative type fun things that we do relates to estate planning and transferring of businesses. In the construction industry in particular, there's a high need above and beyond maybe some tax services because of the bonding requirements and banking requirements. So there's a lot of folks looking at a balance sheet and financial statements of a construction company under the idea of, if I hire this person, can they finish the job? Will they be around? Do they have financial wherewithal to finish the job? Do they have a resume of doing this kind of work, and will they be here? So there's a need in the construction industry for what we do in our CPA services, our traditional and non-traditional type things.
So you gave us a overview of the history of Katz Sapper Miller and what they do as a CPA firm. So when people hear the term partner, which is what your position is, and that you're also in charge of the construction services group, so what exactly do you do in your position at Katz Sapper Miller?
Traditionally, in a CPA firm, we're old-fashioned conservative folks. We are entrepreneurial, but we are accountants. And accountants generally don't move around that much, particularly at a firm of my size. So it takes a while to become a partner. It's 11, 12, 13 years before you even become a partner. So you got 10 years of working in an industry specialization. So at my tenure is really helping the young folks succeed, help them grow and gain understanding, not just in the industry, but relationships, with coworkers, relationships with clients.
Can you remember anything that stuck out about Sapper Miller that made you want to join the team there?
Well, in all honesty, I graduated a little bit late, stayed in Bloomington, and enjoyed about a year working for the Bloomington Parks Department,
Mm-hmm.
and moved up to Indy. And I needed a job. I didn't have a job. I did not have the luxury of 3 offers. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so when I moved here, I got the yellow pages out, went to every CPA firm in town, knocked on their door, dropped off a resume. So I was blessed to be offered a job by Steve Gaylord, who hired me and has mentored me in my career. So I know of no others. But again, on that very first day of work, a guy named Tim Almack took me out to a job site, and he's been one of my best friends my whole working career. He's godfather, one of my children. So what I know about us is that we're civic minded and we're family minded. I really am blessed that I got started here.
When I talk to people who are outside of the industry, they just automatically think that highway construction is an old school industry, and they're very just, to the point and not really up to date with work-life balance, because I know that's like a big buzzword with younger generations. But I'm happy that you touched on that and mentioned that. I'm really happy that Sapper Miller has that balance for you. So as a partner and the one who's in charge of the construction services group at Sapper Miller, can you explain what your typical day-to-day is like? And I know the pandemic's kind of made everyone's days a little bit different with working from home some, but just think pre-pandemic, what your typical day-to-day would be like.
So we have, I don't know, 10 folks in my group that, again, work 50 or 60% on construction. So we do a lot of education. We'll put on seminars. I think we have 6 of us have passed this an exam to have a credential called the Certified Construction Industry Financial Professional. It's like a 4 or 5 hour test, and it covers law, employee benefits, legal issues, insurance issues, tax issues, and accounting. So it's not just accounting and tax. So on a more of a day-to-day focus, I really try to stay in contact with my clients. What's going on? The tax laws are changing. Again, ask them the same things. How's your business? How's your workforce? What are you doing? Was the pandemic going to bring any skilled workers into our industry? So that'll be phone calls. Today I have to review an audit that's kind of past due, so I've got to get that done so I can get on do some vacation. Yesterday I had a review of a tax return that I'll spend an hour with a coworker looking at things, thinking about if we've done it right. Are there any opportunities? Can we change anything? So really during the day, marketing and all things construction, accounting, and tax.
You stay busy is what you're saying. You stay busy and you kind of have your hands in just about every bucket, which is great that you get to be involved in all of that. Is there anything that you haven't mentioned today that you would say is your favorite part about being a part of the highway construction industry?
I think one thing I like about it is there's that can-do attitude, right? I got to figure out how to do this on the fly. And there's a family-oriented. Most of our clients are closely held or family-owned. And again, being through generations with folks who started businesses who are now 80 and seeing their children succeed and considering where they go to their grandchildren. So that in general about the construction industry, the risk takers and the can-do, get-it-done attitude is intriguing. Indiana, our highway system and centrally located transportation's very, very important. So not only are contractors doing cool things, it's vital to our economy.
Oh, for sure. And as partner at Sapper Miller, what would you say for you would be the number one skill set for somebody to succeed in your role?
I think relationship building and ability to handle relationships, a strong work ethic, certainly. Getting away from the texting and the Zoom. How do I really develop a long-term relationship? Over my career, I've had quite a bit, training on how to be a CPA, what it takes. And, lifetime relationships are really, really important. I've had a client from the day I started in 1985 that's been great for 35 years. We want all of our clients to be that. We want to serve them well, but they want to be with us. They value our services. It's just, that's a win-win.
Is there any advice that you can think of that you would have given your younger self that would have helped you be, as successful as you are today in your adult life?
Oh, I suppose I could have been a little bit more of a self-promoter with my own career, perhaps, maybe laid back. Procrastination kills. I wish there's many, many times on a tax deadline or an audit deadline that we would have been a little more proactive, or I would have had more follow up with the team members. I've been involved in the community. We maybe, again, I've done that. I don't know if I'd pass it along, but just taking leadership positions, being involved on the boards of ICI. You learn from all those outside of work activities.
And it's good too that you work for a firm that allows you to have an opportunity to be involved in the community outside of work. That goes into the whole work-life balance thing. So, and I guess we can wrap up with the last question. If you happen to be talking to a class of students in high school, and one of them asks you about highway construction and if it's a good industry, should I choose going into highway construction, what would you tell them, or what advice would you give a high school student about getting into our industry?
I would suggest that they seriously consider it, right? So 'cause I think, not been around high school for a while. And when I was in high school, like many of the folks who might watch this in my age, we had shop class in high school, which was, making a hope chest or a clock or a hammer or a screwdriver. It wasn't running a machine, operating a backhoe or anything. So even back then, there wasn't really exposure to the construction industry as much as maybe exposure to a skilled trade concept. So first thing is, if it was a group of students, I'd say make sure you consider all these skilled trades. These are good careers, opportunity to move up, well-paying, fulfilling work. It's the American dream.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much, Ron, for taking time out of your busy schedule today to tell us about Sapper Miller and your position there, and how you've become as successful as you have today.
Thank you very much. Glad to do it.